Hello mateys, and welcome to a brand new series which we're going to talk about SpellJammer. And I'm going to do it in a very unique way because SpellJammer is one of those things that you can do in multiple ways. So the first episode is going to be talking about the origins of SpellJammer, who wrote it, and things like that, the basic general history, and then we're going to take the original SpellJammer setting from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition, and we're going to break it down book by book, chapter by chapter, and we're going to look at the complete setting. So this is going to be quite a long series, so I hope that you will join me, as I didn't see a series like this at all online, and I love SpellJammer and I want to bring it to more people. And yes, it's going to be pirate themed because you can do anything you want in SpellJammer. SpellJammer originally was published by TSR in 1989, so the game itself is 31 years old. It was designed by a gentleman called Jeff Grubb. Jeff Grubb, he worked on Dragonlance, he worked on Forgotten Realms, and he worked on the Finderstone trilogy, the Jackdaw campaign, and Guild Wars Nightfall, the video game. He's also done various guilds with Avalon Hill. He's also attended Gen Con, running his own campaigns. He does a lot of freelance work now, and some of those include novels, some of those include MTG, Warcraft universe, and various other things such as the Marvel Superheroes game, Buck Rogers, and Star Wars. SpellJammer introduces another type of way to play your Dungeons and Dragons. It takes your characters or your group or whatever, and it can take them from one place to another place or into the space itself. This isn't like Star Wars, this isn't like Star Trek, this is simply Treasure Planet. If you've ever seen Disney's Treasure Planet, if you've ever seen Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Now take away the cars, take away the plant cars, take away the robots, turn the ship into an old sailing ship, and that's what you have. You have a SpellJammer game in the cartoon series. So please go and check out Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. That will give you a rough idea, or Treasure Planet, rough idea the type of environment that you're going to get in a SpellJammer campaign. Now saying that, you don't have to do it that way. You can do it any way you want. You can follow TSR books, you can follow the Pizarro rules that were done for D20, you could follow the 4th edition rules that were done in, I think, Lords of Madness was... Manual of the Plains, sorry. Lords of Madness was the Wizards of the Coast 3rd edition, and in 5th edition, SpellJammer content appears in Waterdeep, Dungeon of the Mad Mage. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. Let's wind the clock back to 2nd edition. The very first thing we're going to look at next time is SpellJammer AD&D Adventures in Space. I'm going to put the ISBN number in the video description here, and we're going to, as I keep, we're going to break down each book. So now, what we're going to do in this little video, this is, as I said, this is just a brief introduction to SpellJammer. This isn't going into the details of SpellJammer yet, and don't worry, we're going to go to this. This video is going to set up, be a primer, what you can find out there for SpellJammer. So, AD&D or TSR published quite a few books. They published Adventures in Space, was a box set. They did The Legend of SpellJammer, the War Captain's Companion, the Asimtromundi Cluster. Then it was expanded with Lost Ships, Practical Planetology, The Rock of Bral, Realm Space, Grey Space, and then a DM scroll. Then there were 5 adventures released in modules: Wild Space, Skull and Crossbones, Crystal Fears, Under a Dark Fist, Goblin's Return. Heart of the Enemy and Space Layers were contained short adventures. And then in 1992, TSR published the Complete Spacefarer's Handbook to cover spelljamming travel. That's everything in 2nd edition. Those are the books and expansions that we're going to look at. We're going to look at how you get to various worlds, such as Greyhawk, Dark Sun, Ravenloft, Mysteria, Dragonlance, and Forgotten Realms, along with a new realm called Cluster Space. So, I hope that puts a very, very brief idea on the type of content that SpellJammer had in AD&D. Now, the ships themselves, the SpellJammer ships themselves, tend to look more like your traditional sailing vessel, or depending on races, such as the elves tend to have a more insect type of thing, so they have like large broomless wings, or they look like insects, or the Mind Flayers tend to have these weird, disturbing shell-like ships. The Beholders have strange and monstrous looking ships. The Nyagi, who are, to put it bluntly, a sort of greenskin analogy or goblinoid analogy for Spelljammer. And why there aren't goblins, there are some goblins in Spelljammer, but the Nyagi take that niche more than the goblinoids, and I'll come into why that is in another video. If you want a short version, the elves nuked them basically and broke the goblinoid navy. That's the brief version. So that's my very first video on Spelljammer. That's what the type of thing that you're looking for. There are some videos out there about realm space. There are some videos out there about the crystal spheres. Nobody's actually gone back, broken everything down, gone by chapters. Now, there is going to be a little... I'm going to try and make the chapter videos short. So if the chapters are short or boring, what I'll do is I'll just give you the brief overview of the chapter and do multiple chapters in a video. If the chapters are interesting, then I will do a complete video with one chapter. What I won't do is I won't do the rules for AD&D. AD&D 2nd edition rules are, some people love them, some people hate them. They're sort of like a weird Marmite-y thing. The same with 4th edition, I found. I'm not a fan of 4th, but AD&D. There are parts of AD&D that I liked and parts I didn't. I like the idea of a negative arm side, but I didn't like Thaco so much. So I might do the AD&D rules as a separate video, but for what I'm going to do in this series, they're not really important. What is important is the lore, the setting, how things work, etc, etc. There are a lot of web rings around, or used to be, and I was part of them for a long, long time. And we tried to keep the SpellJammer setting alive for a long time when it was ignored. There are, as I said previously, there are some content out there for the various editions, but what this video hopes to do is it hopes to bring SpellJammer to more people, and I hope you will follow along. What I am going to do as well is put a link to a group of people who are doing a podcast called The Seafarers, and they are a SpellJammer campaign. They're a podcast doing a campaign, and it's quite interesting to listen to a little bit if you're interested in the SpellJammer. If you want to see people playing it, that's something out there for you to look at. So thank you everyone for joining me on the very first SpellJammer video. Expect more in the future. It's going to be... TTRPG Tuesday is going to be filled with this for quite a while. I might do some additional videos of other games, or I'll come back to it, in between other ones. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice time, and bye bye.